Pick a card. Why are you dangerous? Spirit's view versus people's view. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Psychic MD, and I'm here to do another pick a card reading. So feast your eyes on the cards. As per usual, I have card 1 with Shadow, card 2 with Anubis, and card 3 with Sybil. I am lighting a little bit of Sagey Sage to give you guys some time to take a peek at that. And this time I will go ahead and take a picture and leave it in the beginning of the read so you can actually have more time. We're going to be looking at what people think is dangerous about you. What's dangerous about you? What does Spirit say is dangerous about you? How is that danger misunderstood? And what is it actually designed to do? So without further ado, I'll see you at your pile. Hi, Pile 1. My name is Griselle with Psychic MD. To do your reading, you chose Shadow with the word depth featured on there. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. For those of you that are repeat offenders, thank you so much for stopping back in. So what Spirit says is dangerous, and I use that term loosely and a little bit mockingly dangerous, right? Is that you are quite the deep person. You have the ability to dive deep, 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 and this spooks people. What's really dangerous about you, sorry, my tongue feels really heavy this morning, is that you're really pure. You don't have a lot of agendas. I feel like you don't have a lot of designs. You don't have a lot of things that's considered typical in this 3D world in order to really manipulate. And that's what makes you extremely dangerous. I feel like that gives you a lot of freedom. And it poses a threat to people simply because they cannot manipulate you. That's kind of a big deal, and we're going to see why in just a moment. Now, this reading was inspired, actually. I want to show you this. By this beautiful deck. I'm like, hello, what happened? This beautiful deck, Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Get you this deck. No affiliation here, but it's pretty darn cool. So I'm going to read you the little poem that's attached to this. And it's a card about duality. It says, I am a part of you. Ignore me at your pearl. I could be the making of you, yet I am seen as a devil. The light shines hard upon us, and shadow we cast, not to be ignored, but explore it till the last. So this is talking about unconscious patterns. And I wanted to really discuss the idea of danger and what people really feel threatened by. And to acknowledge parts of you that perhaps scare other people and you're totally unaware of, but also perhaps parts of you that frighten other people and you're completely aware of. I'm actually going to use, and I looked at these and I thought, no, I use these all the time, but here's all the time being used once again. My trusty dusty and sometimes crusty, just kidding, deck right here, Zombie Tarot. Let's get a little bit more energy about what's dangerous about you, your ability to go deep, your ability to be super pure and not have anything quite visible to manipulate, to really twist and change, to use for any agenda. Almost, I'm hearing the words uncontrollable, uncontrollable, uncontrollable. More information on this, please. What's dangerous about you? your ability to rivet on things, to focus on things, sometimes even to your own demise. Okay, so this could be a danger to yourself, obviously. But I also feel like you have this ability to draw people in and be dangerous to them. They could become obsessed with you. They could focus solely on you, like you are the only one. That could bring some sort of happiness, some sort of emotional gratification, that kind of a thing. I'm not digging the way these are sitting, so we're going to have to move this. No way, no how, no sir. So I also feel like you have a really huge ability to communicate with spirit. This is being shown right here by her hair being kind of displayed as reaching towards the heavens, towards the sky. And the hair really represents in a lot of cultures your spirituality, your connectivity. It's almost like an antenna, essentially, to connect with spirit. Now, there are a lot of ideas, conspiracies, and things like that that talk about how when you're a movie star, one of the things that you'll notice is that they'll have a radical change of hair color. Strip all the color out and do something wild with it. Just ideas, I'm saying. But that could be perceived as another attempt to be able to control, right? And this person, I feel like you were talking about, appears really dangerous because if you don't have anything, let's say leverage or an ability to control, then you could basically say whatever, observe whatever, and it poses, at least it feels personally threatening to people around you, which is really quite interesting. I'm interested to find out what kind of a situation are you in. Now, this could be really tame situations like your everyday, I just go to work, no big deal. I don't really see how I could be that dangerous. But make no mistake, people want to get a little bit obsessed with you and want to weaponize what you have in order to control, manipulate so that they could feel safe, which is really quite interesting. Now, how's this danger misunderstood? This I am not to be controlled. I can't be controlled. I really have no design, no agenda. I say things as I see them. I speak the truth. I have the ability to go in deep. I'm really perceptive, and I'm also connected to spirit. How is this misunderstood? How are you misunderstood? How's this gift, this essence about you misunderstood? This dangerous side. Okay. People think that they can use it in order to benefit. That's why they get riveted. They see that you really have no agenda. You're incredibly pure and open arms. I think that's another thing. People have the ability to feel incredibly welcome and taken with you and taken to the depth of the depth, but they think that they can really benefit and profit. And it causes fights. I feel like you can see people fighting over you, fighting about you, fighting within themselves. With the King of Cups here, and this is the energy of, that is not even the King of Cups, look. The King of Swords, all right, so trophy. You could be trophy wife material, trophy husband material, arm candy. You could be seen as the one that's unattainable, and people actually want to go for the unattainable, right? Because at the core of it all, I feel like they think that it says more about them than about you, that they're able to conquer some way, somehow, whether in friendship, whether in a romantic partnership. It has something to say about them. They say, well, this person is on my arm or in my corner, or I can get close to them and nobody else can. It almost appears like you are a wild, I don't want to say a wild animal, but you are just like a wild persona in this 3D world, which is really interesting. And I do feel like people will, I want to say like dramatic, like fight to the death to be near you. But I think that with all of this fighting and rigmarole is what I'm hearing, people can get in really deep. He even has like I think those are like muck shoes or boots, you know, waterproof boots anyways. And I feel like they think that you can really, almost like you're something to be possessed or someone to be possessed. And speaking of possessed, we have the devil right here. So you definitely you don't make people possessed, once again, sorry. But people get possessed with you. The two are hazards. I feel like part of your danger and how it's misunderstood is that people think, well, how can I control and maintain a balance? Because once they like focus on you, it's almost like they're riveted and they cannot stop thinking about how to control, how to in some ways manipulate. You can not invite, but you can really draw. Your light draws a lot of narcissistic people towards you. Look, Four of Wands. People want to wife you, want to control you, want to keep you under lock, stock, and barrel in the home. For lack of a better way of saying it, right? People want to own that connectivity that you have with spirit, and what they fail to understand, and what they just don't get is that everybody can have that connectivity with spirit, and you would say this freely to them. But people think that you're an anomaly, you're totally different, which you are. But instead of seeking their own connectivity, their own purity, their own ability to open up their heart and just be connected with spirit and not have a lot of agendas and designs and desire to manipulate, they instead flip it, they invert it. Now, this really reminds me of an inverted mirror, by the way, you guys, if you know about that. It's really fascinating how the mirror actually makes us look at ourselves in a way that's completely inaccurate. In other words, if I look at you and I see this, it's really beautiful and it feels free and it's different than if you were to look in the mirror and all of a sudden, because it's an inverted mirror, it's not a truest form or representation of what you look like, which is what all of our mirrors apparently are. You wind up seeing a reflection that is definitely not as attractive and definitely not the truest form or representation of you. Definitely look it up. Look up TikTok. It's very fascinating if you go down rabbit holes. Also, I feel like because you're somebody who is like by no design or no agenda, you have the ability to lay out exactly who it is that you're out there. And it's fascinating because there's a level of vulnerability that people think it's like, wow, you would really say that on camera, or you would really say that and not worry about it. And that's exactly who you are. And you don't see it necessarily as being vulnerable. I feel like you just have no design. You're like, well, whatever, this is what I said and this is how I mean it. Yeah, and all of the petty fighting and things around you and the desire to control, I feel like you are so connected to spirit that you don't even see that. Not that you don't see that or acknowledge it, but it's not something that you want in your space. It is something like a tiny drop in the bucket, very much like those things that we see on TV that talk about this is our planet and this is you, and you zoom out, and you go into your stratosphere and you're like not even a particle of dust, kind of an idea. Now, I do feel like people want to sweep this idea under the rug, right? Look, repeating cards, totally different deck. How beautiful. Okay. I feel like it causes a lot of conflict. And look at this. I feel like this is a mouse trying to fight the housewife or the house person, right? Right here. And she's just responding with a little like, a little hiss right there. So occasionally people can come towards you and want to poke the bear, poke the cat. That sounded weird, but I think you're getting the idea. I think you're very graceful typically about things. I feel like you also overlook a slight of ego when people come towards you, or they misunderstand you. You are willing to just kind of ignore things for the most part, unless they come for you directly, or if you get a little bit tired. Like I know when I get tired, I'm less tolerant and I can be more snappy. So this little mouse right here is kind of want to be the king of the world and, you know, take over the cheese right here. And the housewife is not having it. She's like, look, if I look this good from head to toe and I got a big old block of cheese that you're trying to drag out here, it's just not going to happen. Why? Because you're drawn to me. So you're going to come back for more. The Ten of Cups saying once again, and kind of reinforcing the other 10 of Cups, is that people view you as family quality, family material, as someone definitely to have within their circle, and also someone not to be miscalculated. I think that also people have undervalued or misunderstood your value in the past. And now it is pile number 1, 2.0. It's pretty impressive. So how is this danger misunderstood, please? How's pile number 1's danger misunderstood? People can think that maybe you're just a little bit wild. Also maybe a conspiracy theorist, as I touched upon a little bit earlier. I'm going to say that usually conspiracy people tend to be pile number 3, which is interesting. Look. How is this danger misunderstood? I feel like by following your own light, by your own connectivity to spirit, people misunderstand that maybe you're saying this is the only way to do things. Whispers from the beings who shine, let their message be clear and kind. And I feel like they think that your message is, for lack of a better way of putting it, that you have to be just like them, just like us. But really, you're just trying to follow the beat of your own drum, your own messages, your own divine guidance and intuition. And it tends to rock people's boats because they totally don't get it. You're not saying be like me, be completely 100% on board, or trying to focus on spiritual exclusivity and even to the detriment of everything else. That's not what you're saying, but your life definitely says that. And it's a source of poking the bear, actually. And it is a way for spirit to be able to wake people up around you. I should remember what this card is, but I never do. Look, inspiration, yes. This danger is designed to serve as actual inspiration to wake people up around you. Isis, goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me. This is designed to wake up the inner curiosity, the inner spirituality of people around you, of friends and foe alike. It's incredibly beautiful because while you radiate and shine and you seem so focused on spirit and what you're doing with spirit, on your connectivity, maybe trying to learn different things like downloading light codes, maybe trying to learn yoga and what it does to your spirit, your body, your mental health, and all those things. And how you openly share those things maybe on platforms such as this, or just among your friends or people who ask. It is actually being used in an attempt to awaken people around you. How is it actively designed to be utilized, this dangerous side of you? Okay, unexpected, but makes sense. It's actually designed to cause people to really toss and turn at night, to wake up, to really think about things, to ruminate, okay? Why is pile number 1 so connected? Why are they so different? Why do they appear so free? Why can I not control them? Why does pile number 1 do their own thing? It's so weird. Look at this. This is like the most nefarious, what is this, ostrich? I don't know. This character. I feel like people think that you could really weaponize this side of yourself, this ability to go in deep, this ability to face your shadow, to see things that other people typically do not see, to find correlations and things that people just really would not typically make any association with. And there's a lot of gossip about it, a lot of rumor about it, a lot of questioning about it. And that is by design, once again, in order to wake up the divine within other people around you, to be inspired by you, to be elevated, to cause them to go deep within their own shadow, to do their own work, to be able to face their own demons, and to be able to resurface as a new person, a new entity, with a new mission and new mindset. I'm going to say that you are someone who easily can cause tower moments in people. Look, the Six of Pentacles. Your best course of action. As Six of Pentacles, allow things to be nostalgic about things in the past is fine. I also feel like sometimes you could be an inspiration. Maybe even people have pictures of you and you have no idea. Like you would not even have a clue. Look, this always reminds me of like connectivity ancestors with the elephants, memory, long memory, being thick-skinned, being diligent. Elephants are such beautiful creatures. And I feel like you could appear someone with very much like elephant spirit within you. That you're loyal, devoted. When people think of you, they think of you fondly. Allow to be, that's a weird way of saying it. But allow things to be as is. And your best course of action, Ten of Pentacles. You can't make this up. Look. Continue reflecting. Continue looking at things as you have been. Continue enjoying those warm moments, even if sometimes it might cause a little bit of pain, such as reflecting on the past and feeling nostalgic and wishing that things were maybe perhaps when you were little or when you're in a different place in life and things like that, because that too serves to inspire you to dive deep, to go within. Don't be afraid of that. Six of Cups, you could be seen as somebody who has nostalgia and a long memory and a long devoted loyalty towards people, towards family, towards friends, to those that you cover with your spirituality, that you protect, even if they're long gone from your life, even if this is long ago. This is incredibly beautiful. So that is what I have for you. This is why you're dangerous. You actually awaken people. And they start thinking, what is it that pile number one has? Not only how can I attain it? They move out of the energy of how can I control it if they're in their highest form. So your best course of action, again, is just focus on those that are loyal. Do the best that you can do, but really continue being free, continue being you, being a free thinker. I feel like you are breaking all the boundaries. You're busting out of all the pictures, which is really great for all of us. Big hug to you. If you're liking this kind of reading, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you at your next reading. Namaste. Hi, pile number 2. My name is Griselle with Psychic MD. If you chose pile number 2 with Anubis, this is your reading. I have to tell you, I'm super excited about this reading. I love Anubis, and we're going to read just a smidge, just a little bit about Anubis. We're here to find out what is dangerous about you. If I can get the Sagey Sage lit, that would be really helpful. That would be real fun. Those of you new to my channel, welcome, welcome. And for those of you that are repeat offenders, thank you so much for stopping back. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up for you just so you can feast your eyes on this cool card. Respect, Anubis. Take special care and pay attention to detail right now in all aspects of life. Respect yourself and others. Take time to guide someone who needs it. You may not like someone, but you can respect their humanity or even their skills. Offer compassion, I want to say compasión, and respect to the dead. Respect, disrespect, fear, and protection is a duality. The Egyptian god can appear fearsome, a fearsome bunch. To our eyes, perhaps, Anubis with his jackal head looks fearsome. But this is not the truth. While yes, jackals actually do move among the graveyards and clear the bodies of the dead from the desert sands, this jackal god takes great care with the tender new souls that have passed into the afterlife. When you travel down into a womb-like environment of the tombs of Egypt, the gods seem to live and breathe in the artful storytelling of the earthen worms' walls. Among them always is a dark, majestic jackal head, signifying the presence of Anubis, the god of the underworld and mummification. After preparing the bodies by guided embalmers, Anubis travels by their side, with the dead to have their souls weighed against Ma'at, the goddess of represent truth and justice, as recorded by the Book of the Dead. That is so cool. So, this is why you aren't so dangerous. And the word mummification actually really stuck in my brain. So we're going to see what else is going on here. What does Spirit say is dangerous about you? I feel like it's pretty much the same thing that people think is dangerous about you, but way different perspectives. What is dangerous about you? Pile 2. Like 2 cards. These 2. The World and the Ten of Cups. So you could have a draw to pile number 1 as well, as this card came out there. It doesn't have to be. But if you were in between, then perhaps you have messages in both. You have the ability to bring about endings. And Anubis, you know, the caretaker of the underworld, the dead. It's pretty much supporting that. I feel like you have the ability to show people, maybe tenderly, maybe lovingly, right? When things have ended in their lives. When portions of themselves, of their own personality traits, of whatever it is that they're doing, their relationships, you have the ability to show people that those things are dead and gone from their lives. It could be personality traits, it could be jobs, once again, it could be relationships. And I feel like people actually fear you. You could be the strong, silent type, right? You could be built a little bit like this, or hold yourself pretty rigidly. You could be a little seen as maybe perhaps a little bit militant, but you have the ability to really set the world on fire in such a way that they don't look at things the same any longer. And I feel like that's always Spirit's design. You have the ability to help people see beyond the facade, beyond the lies that they tell themselves. And this is, I mean, these are like deep truths, right? Not only do you set people's world on fire, but you help them to really have an acceptance to themselves that the way that they were walking, what they were walking upon, what they were doing, or who they were affiliated with is really dry, cracked ground. There's nothing being offered here. There's nothing to help them grow, prosper. Everything that they have within their mind is illusionary, and you bring this to the forefront. Whether you say so in so many words or you do so with action, I feel like the simple way that you live your life is a testimony to what's really going on to other people within their own lives. They could hear you maybe perhaps speak about your life. And I don't feel like you're someone who would just be like, oh, hey, Jane, hey, Bob, hey, Tom, this is how my day's going and this is what's going on. I don't feel like you're like that at all. But when you do share, I feel like people do listen. You might hold back quite a bit about yourself. I feel like you're somebody who's quite mysterious, and this is part of the draw. Also, you could have a special set of tools that make you dangerous. You could be somebody who is in the military, for example, that knows like 21 ways how to off someone. I shouldn't be saying the other word because I'll get flagged, right? You yourself could be a weapon. You could be... People can think that you could be weaponized against them some way, somehow. And how could this could be played out is perhaps, let's say, at a job. People can look at you and think that maybe if you're a supervisor or a supervisory position, or if you are trusted by the supervisor, that you have a lethal way about you that could perhaps end their job and their prospects to really have a financial glow up, like a raise or a new title, a new position. So I feel like people definitely misunderstand you. You are feared and revered is the words that keep repeating in my mind. But in spite of all the chaos that they could feel around you, because I feel like you could be like a shaman with the ability to go to the underworld and pull back with you all the things that you need in order to make things make sense. In spite of all the chaos and the intensity that you bring to the table, because pile number 2, make no mistake, you are absolutely intense, even in your silence. Perhaps even more in your silence. You're intense and intimidating. I feel like those that you draw a circle around, that you choose to escort through this phase of life, this ability that you have to take a person from where they're at on a dry, crusty ground in order to cross over into a new life, a place of joy, emotional fulfillment. It seems like a scary road and a scary characteristic and an intimidating escort, to say the very least. But once they're in your inner circle, or they quite understand that you mean no harm, that you are there to escort, to protect, essentially to help people to better themselves in this world, in preparation perhaps even for the next world. I think that's very scary about you. Now let's go back to the stare. I can't get over this part. You could have people say that you're very intimidating. I've had people tell me if I was in a bar, I would never approach you. I'd be too intimidated. And, you know, with a simple gaze, you can kind of look through people's soul, look through the surface, and look deep within their core. And that in itself is intimidating. And it's misunderstood because I feel like people think that you want to fight with them, or you want to wrestle with them, or you want to play top dog with them. Or they question your design, they question your motives. It's deeply, I feel like you are deeply misunderstood. And to separate you from this dangerous side is very difficult, because I don't think that people meet you and think, oh, wow, this is, you know, somebody who's easy, or this is a little lamb. I think right away they see the feistiness and the fierceness and the intensity in you, even without saying a word. Once again, you could like gold or start being drawn more to gold jewelry. Coco, what are you doing? Okay, sorry. Side note. How's this actually designed to be utilized? Okay, we're all born with gifts, and we develop according to our choices and our gifts. Hi, baby. Hi. Where's your baby? How's this actually designed to be utilized? What? Anubis, with all of his darkness, is designed to provide the sun, to provide the way, to be able to smooth people over into a new, different life, just the same way that Anubis escorts souls, right? You escort people into a new way of thinking, a new way of life, to break the outmoded, the dying, whatever has been already gone. Yep. You help them find their mojo, their zeal for life, their joy, their excitement. I feel like people can find you. Why do I do air quotes this whole reading? Interesting. People can find you during a time in their life where maybe they're confused. They're clinging to outmoded, outdated things. They feel stuck. Maybe perhaps they're in incredible isolation, and they can't really see the sun. I mean, this person can't see the sun. They can't see the world. They can't see the world being set on fire. They're just in their own little world, maybe perhaps even on their laptop or on their computer, not paying attention one bit to much of anything. But you're designed to illuminate things, to show them what is over, what is past, what is ending. But not only that, you're designed to be a loving and gentle escort. Once people accept those parts of themselves that is ending, You have that ability to gently escort them into their own passion, into a world where they have optimism once again. They can see the light of day. They have radiance and they have spunk once more because they have purpose and they have zeal, and they're in tune once again with spirit and with themselves. They've broken through denial. If you extend your arm to those around you, I feel like it could be, again, quite intimidating, a little bit scary. People might want to go kicking and screaming. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm sorry. I feel like I really resonate with pile number 2. I feel like in the end, they are so incredibly thankful for you. And yeah, it's really interesting because this dangerous side of you is used, it's almost like you escort people through emotional, spiritual war, physical war, that kind of a thing. You help them to navigate. You're like the great navigator with being Anubis and the great escort. That sounds kind of weird, but I don't mean it that way. The great escort. But the fact that you help them find their fire, their emotional wellness once again, and the ability to see things in a different manner is so very powerful. And even I sit here and I'm still kind of like mystified by this Anubis figure. How's this designed to actually be utilized, please? Yeah. You get people in their heads, even if you're not doing a darn thing, even if you're just looking at them. Your mere intensity, your vibe, your essence is an incredible mystery. Okay, this is just wild, but I happen to look out into the forest. It's incredibly foggy this morning. I don't know if it'll burn off later. But I swear I saw this big shadow kind of go from one side to the other. And it didn't appear to be a bird. I mean, it could be, maybe, perhaps. But I feel like that's what people feel with you, this great mystery. And they try to apply all sorts of logic to you. But you are designed and you are built for this type of war. You actually put people in their minds, in their heads. They actually get entrapped by you. I don't think that this is by your design. I feel like this is by Spirit's design, by the way. And people get shook because they get all up in their head about you. What is it about pile 2 that causes me to get all up in my head? They may not know why. They may be mystified by your intensity, by your tenacity, by your seeming connectivity to the other world, by your ability to bring warfare. It's like you wear warfare like a cloak almost. And yet when they feel your gentle embrace, you're like, no, bruh, this relationship is indeed ending. It's going down like a flaming Cheeto. It's over and done with. And I'm here for you, and together we're going to walk to the other side, into the light, into happiness, connectivity, into the sun, into a renewed admiration of self. I feel like you walk with people and you escort people and you extend your arm to people that perhaps are beaten down, have an incredible distorted sense of self, people who have been maybe abused. And you have the ability to bring new life into them, breathe new life into them by allowing them to work through their fear and not go over or under or stick your head into the sand or into that dry crust of land that we call our world and be an ostrich. You have the ability to escort them into the other side to where they find their truest form, their passion once again, their zeal for life. Now, this pile reminds me of a patient that I have, and obviously HIPAA, y'all don't know. And this beautiful soul lost her son, an older son. I think he was maybe in his 40s, but she's, lost her son. And I just connected with her, and right away, I just love her. There's no rhyme, no sense about it. And we have a connectivity, but I feel like it's very much like this. She's been able to do some traveling to be able to heal from this somewhat. She has a horse that she's so close to, and it's been able to help her to heal. But I feel like I too am part of her journey some way, somehow. And she's drawn to me, and I'm definitely drawn to her. And I feel like it's that kind of symbiotic energy, if you will. It's quite interesting. So how is this designed to be utilized? A little bit more information. I could stay in this energy trying to unveil this all day long, but that's not practical. Again with the divine guidance. Whispers from the beings who shine, let their message be clear and kind. Okay. Yep, you are providing divine guidance. People feel threatened, but what they don't understand is that the very thing that they feel threatened by is their liberation. Now that sounds really lofty to say or to think that you are liberating someone, but that's not the vibe at all. This is just divine guidance in the way that you uphold your life, the way that you uphold your ideas and your true self is what provides that divine guidance for other people. Whether you extend your elbow to help somebody cross a road, cross a city, or cross a country. However it is that you are helping people, it could be that you bind them in their own minds because they get caught up in thinking about conversations they've had with you and things like that. And it provides a new opening, a new desire to travel through the archway, a new portal into new greenery and new areas that are thriving, that are growing, that'll give them back themselves, but a 2.0 version. Now, for some of you guys, people can really mistaken you. I don't even think I'm saying this properly, but here we are. Romance. People can think quite romantically about you. Now, not me being all awkward all of a sudden. I feel like this intensity draws people into such confusion, I feel like emotionally, mentally, and it threatens their sense of current self, like how they're doing, what they're doing, and if they're doing things correctly. It's like we're creatures of comfort. We don't really want to be shaken out of that comfort zone. But once you escort people into a better version of themselves, however, with minimal active participation or maximum, it doesn't make a difference. I feel like they can mistake in this energy for romance. I feel like they can fall a little bit in love with you. They can have like a bromance with you, or a girl crush on you, or a real romance. They could actually look at you and get the flutterbies, right? The butterflies in reverse. So this is quite interesting. Romance is a sacred power, but let it come to me this hour with the number 23. And this involves a lot of change and fluctuations. By the time I reduce that, it is a number 5. The number 5 is all about change. And I feel like you bring about change. You walk people through the darkest moments in their lives. You help people. You hold space for people as well. You're not like Anubis. I'm going to drag you to the other side in order for you to see things differently. And I'm going to drag you through the underworld so you can see the purpose of. That's not you at all. But I feel like when people look back at you in retrospect, they really look back at you with a fondness, if not an actual romantic vibe to you. A crush, if you will. I'm going to kind of get one more card for you. Pile number 2. If you're liking this kind of reading, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. One more card. Manipulator. People can think that you are a manipulator initially, but I feel like when they look back, they see that that was not the case at all. I feel like because you have the ability to really expose things that are decaying, dying, ending, yeah, you can transform into someone that you are not to fit your agenda, making you extremely crafty and achieving your dreams and goals. So people feel like you can shape shift in order to, in the end, get them to where they need to be, which is really quite interesting because it's almost like saying that people can view you as being this great manipulator, and they're afraid of your agenda. You're this Anubis to escort them to something that they don't really understand, escort them through something for their benefit, by the way. But your ability to shapeshift can feel or be seen or perceived as manipulation from the outside if they don't really quite understand. But once you've enabled them to cross over to the other side, they definitely see that it's simply a facet of your personality and not manipulation in the 3D the way they would have it. Bottom of the deck, for real, your very last card is mystifying. You exude mystery, teasing the mind with the unknown that will help others embrace the obscure change and change ahead fearlessly. Yep. Look at you being all mysterious. And with all this blue, I feel like you speak your truth. You're very direct, and you're very mysterious. So when people look at you in the eye, I feel like they get nervous or uncomfortable. But yet you're kind of like a moth to a flame. People can't stay away from your brand of danger. So that's what I have for you. Again, if you like my channel or this kind of read, can you like, share, comment, subscribe? Until next time, namaste. Pile number 3. This message is for thee. Thank you for stopping by. Your reading. We're going to get a little bit of Sagey Sage. These messages have been really, really intense. You chose pile number 13. And I will read to you very briefly the booklet. But look at all the sacred geometry going on here. Very beautiful. Very peaceful, apparently. But this card drew me initially simply because of her name and because of foresight. People think that you are dangerous, and even Spirit says that you're dangerous because of your foresight with Sybil. Okay. So this is about listening to your intuition, about your third eye. You could be claircognizant, clairsentient. You could be someone that has an ability to foretell the future. And I'm getting for you that time is really not linear. You can slip back and forth in a time. Some people believe in time jumping in different timelines. Anyhow, in the ancient world, particularly around the Mediterranean, there are female oracles who were consulted for the ability to look into the future. These wise women, called Sibyls, were powerful and often educated, and so they were feared. So there's a whole story there that we are going to skip, but this part's got to be one of my favorites here. Set high in the mountains with a valley leading to the sea, this place was not just an atmospherically special, but was geographically active. It was a place of earthquakes and deep springs and cracks that leaked gases. The Pythia sat on the three-legged stool within a cave that released vapors from deep within the earth. We know the gas was naturally the kind of methane. This changed the mental state of the priestess, enabling her to go deep within her trance so that she could receive the word of Apollo directly. Though her messages were not always clear, there were other sacred stuff there to assist people with interpretations. Some messages were crystal clear. For example, when the Roman Emperor Nero visited the oracle, he was told by Sybil, "Your presence here outrages the god you seek. Go home." We know before the visit, Nero had murdered many people, including his own mother. So, you appear incredibly dangerous because, once again, you have that foresight, that ability to see straight through. Now, I can't help but notice the number 13, which is affiliated with the death card in the traditional tarot, right? I feel like also you are someone who gets messages from the other side, but also in this 3D world, people are drawn to you, even though this card is not as vibrant as the other ones. I feel like you are a low-key person, or you don't try to like wield that like a weapon, or you don't really announce it to everybody. Look, I'm a civil, you can, you know, it's not anything like that. I feel like people are naturally gravitate to you. And part of why you are dangerous is because people can want to, they're just drawn to you. And I feel like people give you a lot of information unbeknownst to them. They kind of share with you, and then they look back and go, why did I say that? So you have the ability to crack open people very much the same way that that Sybil and Pythia we just talked about had the ability to have those gases come through the cracks at methane and send her into another trance-like state, basically. So people wonder what you do with this information, how you process it, how you go about it. And it appears really dangerous because they don't really understand it. And once again, we've been shown throughout history, and I say that with tongue in cheek because we've been lied to by so many things, right? Pile number 3, if you know, you know. I'm going to say that throughout history, we've been shown time and time again that, you know, what we perceive as science and what's real have been really nothing but lies and made up speculations by people as well. Moving on. I feel like you can see beyond the BS. I feel also that that puts you in a place of a little bit of sadness. It can hamper your spirit as well. I don't feel like you necessarily walk around being an exceptionally peppy person. You can have a little bit of a sadness attachment to you, okay? So, pile number 3, what is dangerous about the... Perfect. The Chariot and the Empress. What's dangerous about the is that you are not afraid to get a move on things, to move with the number 7 here. This card tells me that you're connected deeply to spirit, that you have your positive and negative polarities on point, meaning that you can see through what is nonsense and how to cut through the chase. You could be somebody who is a one-liner. You don't need to speak a lot about something to convey your message or what you're thinking or what you're feeling. You could just really cut to the chase, cut to the point, and get moving. I feel like you have the ability to show people also how to do this. Now with the Empress card, you could be motherly. You could be an actual mom. You could have mom vibes. You could be considered an old soul. You don't have to be a female gender. We don't read sex on this channel. We read energy. You're considered the quintessential gardener because as you see the future, as you see things, and maybe perhaps not even understand them, I feel like you can get a lot of pieces of the puzzle, especially in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at things like the world and its current state and whatnot. You draw pieces into the forefront, just like your peers and other people similar to you, other Sibyls, just like you do. And I feel like you give people around you the ability to have that wisdom, but they have to piece the puzzle together themselves a lot of times. And many times, even though you speak plain English, they cannot understand you. You could be seen as someone who speaks in riddles, very much like a Sibyl who needs an interpreter, by the way. Now, I feel like you have that ability to garden spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even with your words. You garden and you prune things that just do not belong in conversation. That's a waste of time. I feel like you might get exasperated and having to go back and explain things from the bottom up. I'm hearing, this is so inappropriate, but I was started from the bottom, now we're here. Okay, but that's what I heard. That's what you got. Listen. Pile number 3, you have the 3 of Wands. The reason why you're dangerous is because you have the ability to wait for movement, but jump on it whenever it presents itself. I feel like you don't question things. You might kind of, you know, have a set plan, like a template in mind. And once you have an opportunity, even if you don't have all of the answers 1000% or all of the pieces of puzzle connected, you have the ability to move. Make your move. I feel that also this is giving me a spirit of cooperation, not because it's the 3 of Pentacles, which is usually iconic in that definition, but because we have people cooperating right here to break into the jail so that they can eat these yummy people, right? So you have the ability to break down walls, and maybe perhaps the ability to break down the mindset of people who think that they are the jail keepers. Like they are the COs, they are the police, they are the ones to keep people in cages, because people in cages have been put there by the law and they deserve it and they've done wrong. But I feel like you have the ability to flip the script to be able to show people, these very people, that they too are in cages, that they are actually in the same prison, literally, as people that have committed their crime. And as they do their job, they perform their duties and things like that. They are actually, they themselves, within a prison. It's just on the other side of the bars. They have the punch-up time clock. They have X amount of time to do, and they do it all within these prison walls in an orderly fashion, presumably, right? I feel like you break down barriers. I'm hearing mind melting now. Once upon a time, I've dated a lot of interesting characters, by the way. Once upon a time, in my younger years. Okay, I'm trying to do just a quick reading. It's just not happening. So it started as a party, and it wound up being everybody being hypnotized by me, because I'm that weirdo that, you know, I was born with it. Maybe she's born with it. So I'm going to say that you could be very much like that. You could be somebody who does something, and then the very next day, my boyfriend in this case wound up telling everybody that I was doing things to mind melt people around them, because I was doing like past life regression. And pretty soon it wasn't a party at all. It was people waiting to be hypnotized, because that was what I was doing. I don't know. But you get the point. You get the point. And this could be seen as very dangerous. Look. Fortune smiles on those that are willing to grasp it, on those that are willing to wait, on those that are willing to move upon the things that the seer sees on the other side. Fortune smiles on those who listen and stay centered. You don't go round and round and round the circle. You stay with your vision focused in the center, so that you don't experience extreme ups and downs. I feel like fortune smiles upon you and upon people that really understand that you are here for the embetterment of people, even for the exposure of showing that this world is really a theater, which is quite the risk of saying things, especially on this platform. So dangerous. But this world is a big stage, and I feel like you have the ability to expose that. And that doesn't necessarily make you happy, because I feel like that brings a lot of pain towards people. It brings a lot of endings, but I feel like you come from a place of nurturing. You could have a connectivity to pile number 2 if you feel led to. You do not have to, but this could be seen as a threat. What do you mean? I am also a prisoner. Those are the prisoners. I'm the one wearing the correct uniform. I'm the one that enforces things. I'm the one that says where these prisoners go. Yes, correct. But you're also in this prison under lockdown. And you're also answering to the call of those higher up. And you also have a way that's expected for you to behave in a manner and duties to perform just like they do. The Four of Wands. Yep, you have the ability to kind of break down what people think is safe, is balanced. Again, I feel like going through the matrix and really exposing things as they really are. I feel like you have an ability to show people that, look, you may want the four corners to look like this and for life to look like this beautiful theater. And I don't deny it looks beautiful, but it's largely unattainable. Whereas, you know, not many of us anyways have like the wife and the husband and the American dream if you're in the US, or whatever type of dream that you have, right? A lot of it is just an illusion, and it's things that really many of us in our lifetime will not attain. This is a show. I feel this danger is to show people that, you know, things are a mess. They're not happy. They're not balanced. They're not content. They need to move away from that. They need to look beyond the curtain. They need to look at the role that they're playing, and they need to make radical changes. And I feel like with your foresight, you have the ability to show people what is ending. Also, to be able to show people what they need to end in order to really change and grow. And essentially to be happy, to be connected with their higher self, with spirit. Look, this is my quintessential card for my psychic card. So this is, you're connecting people back to themselves, back to their original form. Now, I was watching some kind of documentary yesterday, and it's called something mouth, like open mouth, I think it's called. It's pretty new to Netflix, and it was kind of interesting, but then towards the end, I'm like, right, I've had enough of this. But it's quite interesting because this is about a father and a son who really are trying to abolish the whole hierarchy of dentistry and orthodontist practice and philosophies and things like that. So they've gone up against the board and things like that. And I feel like you are in a lot of ways causing people to rethink this, and that's part of your danger. It's like you feel, people just get scared. People think that you're going to walk up and tell them, okay, well, and you're going to die, or somebody's going to die, or this is going to happen, like catastrophic prophesying or something like that. And it can be seen as quite formidable, because as I sit this far from the card, it looks to me almost like formidable, even though I know it's foresight. And I feel like you bring people back to their truest form, very much the same way that that documentary is saying that they're bringing people back into the truest form, the most natural state. And that documentary cracked me up, The Mouth Open, I think, or Open Mouth, because it talked about how we're we're living among people who are disfigured, we're ugly, and it's really quite interesting. Anyways, if you watch it, that's one thing. But they have these outlandish ideas, how orthodontist is basically a business, and they've been taught, you know, it's a template, it's a business like anything else that you see in this 3D, especially in this kind of world. And I feel like those things are crumbling. So these people are trailblazers, apparently, and they had the ability to bring the most natural state by having people, like, number one, chew gum furiously. Chew gum in order to strengthen the jawline, and then they would have these contraptions to be able to move the mouth in such a way that it looked disfigured initially, but that the patient would grow into it later. And the father initially experimented on his very own children, which is quite interesting. An arrestable act, I'm hearing. Anyways, so yeah, you have the ability to help people see through things, question all the things, get in connection with themselves, regenerate themselves by eating their own minds. Because I feel like once we start, it's very much like fat, right? They say it's like if you go into like ketosis and you starve your body a little bit, it starts eating its own fat initially. That is, why am I comparing this? I'm so sorry. Pile number 3, this is what I have for thee. You have the ability to have people cut through the quick on their own and see their own BS, so that they, in turn, can be the Nine of Cups. They can have that happiness. They can have clarity of thought, of mind, of heart. They can also be prepared. I feel like you have the ability to help people express themselves fundamentally, what they really mean, what they really feel, how they really see things. And that's very important. It's critical, because that is not definitely not encouraged here. You are an anomaly, make no mistake about it. You are perceived as dangerous, even by friends and family alike, friends and foe even. What else do we have here? How's it designed to be used? You cut through the quick. Look, I'm gonna look at my cards. The Ace of Swords. This is about running in and cutting all the nonsense out with a swiftness, because you have a bird's eye view, right? You have the ability to move quick. You have an incredible intellectual ability to get through people. You communicate on a level that they understand. You cater it, and you bob and ebb and flow according to your audience, okay? If the world is a stage, you look at your audience and you communicate in a way that that they can really grasp and comprehend. Or even if you have no time, let's say you're meeting somebody and it's going to be a quick thing and you'll never see them again, you cut, like Zorro a little bit, if you guys remember Zorro. And then you leave and you bring about change, the Ace of Swords. You bring about a curiosity in people, a desire, and you open up a new path just like that. A new path for people to travel and do their own homework and question their own ideas and question their own motives, question their own stage, their own theatrics, their own lives, question what they feel like is a foundational solid, a foundational given. How's this actually designed to be utilized? Pile number 3, if you want this kind of reading, do give me a like, share, comment, subscribe. I would appreciate it. How is this utilized? Hello? Anyone there? Yeah, you cause people to look at things in a different manner than they ever have before, to be curious, to be studious, to actually embark upon a new journey for themselves. They could feel like they're cutting things out that they really don't want to. They could feel left out, stressed out, or perhaps when you leave their presence, they could feel a little bit like, what the heck, you're going to open up the road to curiosity and I'm going to have to do all this by myself and I would rather not. No, thank you. 5 of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold. So this could be saying that perhaps you are meant to come into people's world, open up a little window, and then dip and do your own thing. Now, it may seem cruel, or feel like it's just not a very nice thing to do, but it's designed to be that way in order to get people moving, okay? With the 4 of Swords, this is about healing. Healing from trauma, healing from heartache, healing from heartbreak. So I feel like you open up certain wounds in people with your ability to have that foresight, to be able to predict what is going to happen next and see things moving in the future that other people don't see coming because they have their eyes wide shut. But you also have that ability, that same ability, to really push them into healing mode in order for them to progress, to heal, to feel complete once again. So there is no malice here. There is no malintended, just misunderstood, misunderstanding, misunderstood. So that is what I have for you. Okay, I want to pull one more card because I'm already making myself late. Why be on time? One more card here. Love. Aphrodite, I call to thee to bring a true love here to me. Maybe you are calling for love. Maybe you see everybody is love. All we need is love, right? All we need is love. I feel like you have an open heart, an open chest. I don't feel like you have any agenda, but even your own mission can appear to be curiously disjointed at times. But make no mistake, you are bringing things, I hear, full circle. You're bringing things like exposure into a world that desperately needs it, desperately needs you, and desperately needs to hear the truth. That is what I have for you. Much love to you. Pile number 3. Namaste.